Harvey, how'd you go quitting the Coles?
Oh yeah, it was bloody good. Yeah, don't have to work on a register anymore. But I loved it there, and it was good. Just sort of get to deal with people every day, and old people, new people, or whatever kind of sort of people, just to be able to interact with them. It was pretty cool and sort of speak to them about their day. But yeah, you'd take that over, or you take playing AFL footy over working on a register for your whole life. But yeah, that was good.
How have you found the move over yourself? Who are you living with, and how have you found your time over here so far?
Oh, it's been great. Like just the adapting to the hot weather. It's unreal to have that here rather than in Melbourne, and you don't really get it there. So it's been good with that. And I'm staying with Liam Duggan, so Duggo. He's a legend, and so is his wife. Oh, his fiancée, sorry, Lauren. She's been great as well, and they're both just unbelievable. And Liam's just been so good. He helps me with what I need to pack for training, obviously today, and what he does sort of with extras and stuff to help him sort of further develop his footy and all that. But yeah, no, it's been great. I'm loving it.
What's the best bit of advice you've got from Liam so far?
Probably just to really just value sort of each sort of staff member and just appreciate the people at the footy club, because obviously you look at the coaches and the players and you think that sort of is all it takes to create such a good footy club, but he tries to know and sort of familiarise himself with sort of every staff member's name and all that. So he'll go around and say g'day to everyone in the morning, or at the footy club, or wherever they are. So probably just getting to each and every staff member around the club, I think.
When I spoke to you on Tuesday night over the phone, you came across as a guy with a really infectious personality, really bright and bubbly, and you're saying, you want to celebrate goals and all that sort of stuff. How, as a young fella, do you come in and keep that going around so many big names and big people and playing in an AFL system in a big club?
Yeah, well, I guess sort of on the night of the draft and even just the next day and stuff, a lot of the West Coast boys sort of texted me and got my number and flicked through like really just cheerful messages. So I think they sort of said just be yourself around the club and sort of don't change. And even in the meeting this morning, Simo just wants everyone and all the new boys to just bring their strengths to the club and sort of don't shy away from that. So I think just being like I am, like last year and stuff, obviously this year as well, but sort of bringing that and then taking it into the footy club and sort of just sticking with it, I think will really help.
What's your goal for this year?
I think just to get respected by sort of all my peers and the people around me and the players, and just sort of get them to think that I'm just that hard-working kid who just really wants to sort of get that opportunity and excel when I get that opportunity to play an AFL game. So yeah, probably just getting the respect by everyone around me.
Your flexibility, sort of mid and also forward, is there a position where you sort of feel more comfortable or think you can have a bigger impact in?
Yeah, well, I guess obviously the midfield is probably the main sort of position, but I just love sort of learning new things and getting up new opportunities and playing in sort of each and every position I can. But yeah, probably the midfield I think would be my favourite position.
Is there anyone you look to sort of follow in the shadow of this pre-season then?
Yeah, probably Tim Kelly, I think. Just the way sort of he goes about it is really good, and even just watching him at his Geelong days and over here as well has been really good. But also Ruben Jinmi, the boys talk about how well of a trainer he is and how well he sort of sets himself apart from other people. So just looking at sort of different aspects of each players in whatever position and seeing how they sort of go about at training and how they prepare themselves for games and training sessions.
Who did you support growing up?
I was a big Melbourne fan, but yeah, it was pretty hard when I was a little kid as we didn't have much success, but over the years it's been good to sort of know your teams, been pretty good, but yeah.
How did you find your first session out there today? What was it like?
Oh, it was great, like just sort of training in an AFL sort of environment. It feels pretty surreal, obviously being drafted and officially being an AFL player, but once you sort of get out there, like Clay sort of touched on, then it starts to sort of sink in that you're an AFL player. But yeah, it was great. The running was great, and they sort of restricted us sort of rookies and young boys a little bit, but just sort of getting there and just getting the feel for it, and to be in an AFL club and training with them, it's just it's unreal. So good.
Have you been given much advice about what your sort of program is leading up to Christmas at all?
So the PT, sort of the head of performance and stuff, Paul Turk, he's sort of said that Mondays and Fridays are going to be the main sessions, and then sort of Wednesdays a lot more skills and in between them are just going to be sort of a lot of touch and sort of meetings and reviews and stuff. So just Mondays and Fridays mainly are the big sessions.
What have you found the biggest difference? I know it's only been a couple of days, but the biggest difference from state footy to AFL and an environment and in clubland as well?
Yeah, I guess sort of like what sort of Clay touched on before, just all the players are just hitting their kicks and they do all the really, the little things really well. And when they get to training, obviously it's a bit of chitter chatter at the start and stuff, but once the coaches start talking and sort of giving demands and stuff, they just really lock in and they just want to get better, I guess, and to be doing it now rather than sort of in a couple of months, they're just preparing themselves to come out firing and come out really strong. So yeah, probably just the training intensity, I think.
Last time we spoke, you spoke about how you came from a bit fair way back and you concentrated on your pre-season, you put all that work in. How do you keep yourself going and putting that work in again to another level, considering you've got one goal ticked off?
Yeah, well, I guess I'm sort of just going to take what I did sort of last season into account. But yeah, obviously being in an AFL environment now, you get access to just pretty much everything. So I'm going to take advantage of that and just really just try and get the best out of myself, whether that be just training and then going to do some ice baths or recovery straight afterwards, and just getting to bed early and doing all those sort of little things a lot better than what the regular sort of player would do. But yeah, just taking advantage of that and sort of just knuckling down a lot more.
How long did you work at Coles for?
I was at Coles for about 2 years, I think. So I started in October 2021, and then I just sort of, when exams came around, I sort of didn't get too many shifts just because of studying and playing footy and training, obviously. But yeah, probably 2 years, I'd say.
Is there anything that you feel you can take from your work life into now your career?
Yeah, well, I guess sort of... speaking to sort of old people on the registers and stuff, you just sort of don't know what, I guess, goes on through their day. So just always just being sort of bright and cheerful and sort of happy towards them and others, I think will really help and sort of benefit me and a lot of other players through the club, and just sort of being really nice and caring for them, I guess.